Before we dive in, hit subscribe, because what you're about to hear isn't from a movie. It's from real men who've lived the kind of darkness most people can't imagine. Welcome to Confessions from Inside. It started just after midnight inside Redwood State Penitentiary, a maximum security facility tucked deep in the Colorado mountains. The snow outside fell in silent sheets, blanketing razor wire and watchtowers in white. Inside, though, the air was thick, like something unseen was about to break. Inmate Marcus Hale, serving life for armed robbery and second-degree murder, hadn't slept in 3 nights. His cellmates said Marcus kept whispering in his sleep, "Freedom made real, not in here, not out there." The guards brushed it off, just another inmate losing his grip. But that same night, Marcus vanished. From a locked cell that had no broken locks, no open doors, and no tunnels dug beneath it. By 2:13 a.m., the siren screamed. Red lights flashed across concrete walls. Every gate slammed shut. The warden called it a containment breach, but to the men inside, it was something else, a ghost story come alive. Detective Elena Ward, a state investigator known for cracking impossible prison cases, was called in before dawn. She'd worked federal-level disappearances, but nothing like this. A man vanishing inside one of the most secure facilities in America. When she arrived, Marcus's cell was untouched, his bed made, his uniform neatly folded, and a handwritten note placed on top. It read, "Freedom starts when you stop pretending you're free." Ward stared at the message. The handwriting was clean, deliberate, not frantic or panicked. She asked the guards for surveillance footage, but the feed between midnight and 12:18 a.m. was missing. The system had simply looped. Someone inside had covered their tracks. By sunrise, tensions ran high. Other inmates whispered that Marcus had escaped through the walls. One lifer swore he saw a guard escorting Marcus down the east hallway, the one that led to solitary confinement, right before the alarms. But when Ward checked the guard logs, no one had been assigned there that night. She started interviewing the cell block, one inmate at a time. Most stayed silent, but when she reached Devin Ross, an older inmate who'd been locked up since the 90s, he leaned forward and said, "You want to know what freedom means to a man who's lost it? It means nothing left to lose. That's when you'll find Marcus." Ward felt a chill crawl up her neck. That afternoon, she got the first solid lead, a smuggled USB drive hidden inside a hollowed Bible from Marcus's cell. The IT team plugged it in. Inside was a single video file, time-stamped 2 days before Marcus vanished. The footage showed Marcus sitting on his bunk, staring directly into the lens. His eyes were calm, almost cold. He said, "They think we're the criminals, but in here, at least we admit what we are. Out there, they're just better at hiding it." Then, silence. A faint noise in the background, footsteps, a door unlocking, someone whispering his name. And then, the video cut out. Detective Ward replayed it 3 times, searching for a clue, until she caught something almost invisible in the final frame. A reflection in Marcus's eye, the faint outline of another man standing behind him. She froze the frame and zoomed in. It wasn't another inmate. It was a guard. The same one who'd gone missing 6 months earlier, presumed dead. And he was wearing Marcus Hale's uniform. Detective Elena Ward couldn't shake the image, the reflection of a dead man in the eye of a missing one. The guard's name was Daniel Kruger, a former corrections officer who vanished during a violent lockdown the year before. His body was never recovered. Officially, it was blamed on inmate riots and a fatal fire incident. But Ward had reviewed the file, and something had always bothered her. The fire alarms never triggered, and Kruger's access card kept pinging the system for 3 days after he supposedly died. Now he was staring back from Marcus Hale's video. Ward ordered the prison to go into full lockdown. Every corridor was searched, every camera feed monitored. Yet Kruger's name didn't exist in the system anymore. His personnel file had been deleted. Even his photo from the wall of fallen officers had been replaced with a blank plaque.
"Someone inside is cleaning this up," she muttered. Warden Pierce, a man with a voice like gravel and a stare that could break glass, wasn't happy with her digging. "You're chasing ghosts, Detective. Hale was a manipulator. Kruger's dead. Let my men handle this." But Ward had seen too much to stop. That night, she visited Block D where the inmates were locked down after the breach. The hall smelled like sweat and bleach. Her boots echoed through the concrete corridor as she approached Marcus's old cell. On the wall, faintly scratched beneath the paint, she noticed something new. 3 words, barely visible under the light. Room 17, basement. The prison's blueprints showed no room 17 in the basement. The area had been sealed off years ago after a structural collapse. When Ward demanded access, the maintenance chief went pale. "You don't go down there. It's condemned." She went anyway.
2 guards escorted her through a steel door at the end of the east hallway. The air was colder, damp with rot. Pipes hissed overhead as they descended into the dark. The flashlight beams cut through thick dust and spider webs until they reached a rusted plate on the wall. 17. Ward took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Inside was a hidden wing. Small, soundproofed rooms with reinforced doors. A secret block. In one of them, a chair was bolted to the floor. A single chain dangled from the ceiling. The walls were covered with peeling paint and scratch marks, initials, dates, and one haunting phrase repeated over and over: "Freedom is obedience." Then she saw it, an ID badge half buried under the grime. She picked it up. The name read, D. Kruger. Fresh blood stained the corner. Suddenly, a noise. Ward turned her light toward the far wall. A narrow passage led deeper underground, the air trembling with faint movement, like someone was breathing just out of sight. She called out, "Marcus?" No answer, just the slow, rhythmic sound of metal dragging on concrete. The guards behind her shifted nervously. "Detective, we should get out of here." But Ward stepped forward. Her light caught something glinting in the dark, a camera lens hidden in the wall. Someone was watching them. Then, through an old speaker overhead, a distorted voice crackled to life. "You wanted to know what freedom feels like, Detective?" Ward froze. The voice was unmistakable. Marcus Hale. "It's not out there. It's down here. With us." The speaker went silent. The door behind her slammed shut with a metallic scream. The flashlight flickered, and in that brief flash before the darkness swallowed her, Ward saw him. A man standing in the corner, face half burned, uniform still bearing the name tag, Kruger. He smiled. Detective Elena Ward's flashlight flickered again, cutting through the damp air of the basement corridor. The man who stepped forward was unmistakable, the same face she'd seen in Marcus Hale's final video. Daniel Kruger. But he wasn't supposed to be alive. Kruger's uniform was charred at the edges, his skin marked with burn scars that twisted down his neck. His eyes, though, they were clear, alert, calm. "I told them to let me go," he said softly, his voice distorted by years of silence. "But freedom isn't release. It's surrender." Ward steadied her gun. "Where's Marcus Hale?" Kruger smiled, a slow, haunting curve of his lips. "Marcus isn't missing. He's free." He turned toward the hidden hallway behind him and motioned for her to follow. Against every instinct, Ward moved forward. The passage opened into another chamber, dimly lit by a single flickering bulb. There, chained to the wall, sat Marcus Hale. Alive. He looked thinner, almost skeletal, but his eyes burned with strange clarity. The words, "Freedom starts when you stop pretending you're free," were carved into the wall beside him, this time written in his own blood. Ward rushed toward him. "Marcus, we can get you out of here!" He shook his head slowly. "You don't get it. This place was never about keeping us in. It's about seeing who still believes they're out." Ward frowned. "What does that mean?" Kruger stepped closer, his boots scraping the floor. "The program started long before you came, Detective. They called it Project Echelon, experimental rehabilitation. Break the mind, rebuild obedience. But it got shut down when He hesitated, eyes darting toward Marcus. "When we went too far." Marcus laughed bitterly. "Too far? You made us disappear." Ward turned to Kruger. "So you were running experiments on inmates?" Kruger's voice hardened. "Not just inmates, guards too. Anyone who believed freedom was a choice. The system doesn't need fences, it just needs belief. That's what they taught us." Ward backed away, realizing the scope of what she'd uncovered. "You're insane!" Marcus's voice rose, raw and trembling. "No, Detective, he's telling you the truth. We're all still serving a sentence. Out there, you obey rules you didn't make, follow systems you didn't choose. You call that freedom?" Ward reached for her radio. "Unit 5, this is Detective Ward. I need backup in..." Static. The signal was dead. Then the lights went out. In the darkness, a sound echoed. The clatter of a chain, the rush of movement, a struggle. Ward's flashlight hit the ground, rolling in circles. She caught a flash. Kruger lunging toward Marcus. Marcus pulling free, the chain swinging like a weapon. A gunshot split the air. When the light steadied, Ward stood trembling, her gun smoking. Kruger lay on the ground, motionless. Marcus knelt beside him, whispering something only he could hear. Then he looked up at her, calm again, blood on his hands.
"You think you stopped this," he said quietly. "But it doesn't end here. It never does." Ward hesitated. "You're under arrest." Marcus didn't resist. As they led him out of the basement, he kept smiling, that same cold, knowing smile. Days later, when Ward filed her report, she requested access to Project Echelon archives. The files didn't exist. The system claimed no record of such a program. Even the footage from her investigation, the USB, the body cam, the basement logs, all corrupted. 3 weeks after Marcus Hale was placed in isolation, the warden found his cell empty. Again. No sign of escape, no broken locks, just a folded piece of paper on his bed. It read, "You don't find freedom, you remember it." And beneath it, a single photo. Detective Ward, asleep in her apartment. Someone had taken it from inside her home. They thought the story ended when Marcus disappeared again. But 2 months later, another guard at Redwood vanished, leaving behind the same message carved into his wall. Freedom starts when you stop pretending you're free. If you think this story was intense, you're not ready for the next one. Hit subscribe before the next disappearance hits the news.